Good morning, everyone. One of the things I want to cover today during this meeting was the core four for a couple of reasons. One, if you're like most school owners, you probably have a to-do list that is this long. Secondly, with all the stuff that's going on in the news, it's really important for you to have a positive attitude and a good mindset because you're a leader. We want to lead people through inspiration. And when we're watching the news and reading the negative things on the stock market and the coronavirus, we don't want to get caught up in that. It's true problems, but the important thing is we have to lead people, and we want to lead people with a positive attitude by setting a good example. The core four comes from a book I was reading by Sean Whalen, and it's really good. And it talks about how people get really bogged down and don't get stuff done because they have too much to do. So he really made everything a little bit easier by what he calls the core four. The core four are four things that we do, not on a basis of just now and then, but something we do every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You may say, okay, this is four more things that it's going to be on my to-do list. Now, it's not going to be four more things. We're going to try to get your to-do list down to four things. So when we're doing those four things, it's really easy to manage. In the book, he kind of describes it like, you've heard this before, how do you eat an elephant? Well, it's not going to happen in one bite. You're going to eat it one bite at a time. So that's what we're really doing here. And the core four are power, passion, purpose, and production. And when we talk about power, power is your physical body. What do you do on a daily basis that's going to promote a healthy body? Are you going to do exercise? It's a matter of, hey, I'm going to prepare some foods so when I go to eat, I'm eating healthy foods. What are you going to do on a daily basis that's for your body? So you now have to say, well, hey, I got to go to the gym. I haven't been there in a while. So I want to really go 3 times a day, an hour each time. So I have 3 hours in the gym. Well, that's probably not something that's going to stay for a long period of time. But you can do something. So maybe you're going to go to the gym in the morning. A lot of martial artists like to do it just before they go into the school, kind of sets them up for success. But something should be done every single day. And again, it doesn't have to be a lot of stuff because we're going to do this on a daily basis. It's not just a one and done type thing, but something we work on consistency. Next thing is passion. Another thing for passion would be relationships. What do you do on a daily basis to enhance relationships? When I was skimming through the book today, just as a review, it talked about reaching out to family members. It says if you have children, don't wait for them to call you. If you're an adult and you have adult children, don't wait for them to call you. Pick up the phone and call them. So I said, well, that's a perfect thing for me to do as far as relationships today. I'm going to pick up the phone. I'm going to call my son, just check in. I haven't talked to him for a little while. So that's what I did. So maybe a 15-minute phone call. He told me all about his trip to California this past weekend. I talked about my move into the new house. Well, it's just a real good way to connect. And so we're kind of solidifying that relationship. You may do something weekly with your spouse and have a date night. So instead of just being, okay, we're just going out tonight, maybe plan it out a little more detail. So that could be your to-do list. Wednesday is your date night. Okay, I'm going to plan on the date night, and I can make it a little more special. It may be when you're going in your martial arts school, okay, what am I going to do in my martial arts school to build relationships? Well, if you have staff, you can do something with your staff member. We know one of the things that staff members really like is recognition. So maybe today you're going to talk about one of the instructors to the parents. Maybe today you're going to write a good job note to one of the instructors. Maybe today you're going to pick up a card from Starbucks and give one of your employees a gift card to Starbucks. Could be that you're just going to do good job notes. I know good job notes are important, but I'm not doing them on a daily basis. Well, on the core four, when you get to passion and relationships, okay, every single day I'm going to do 5 good job notes to students. That's going to give me a stronger relationship. It's going to build up rapport with my students. It's going to give me better retention. So it's something you're doing on a daily basis to build relationships. Third was purpose. Purpose is all, what are you doing to train your mind? Before I got in this call, I was just going through Facebook, and I saw Jason Smith from Believe Martial Arts wrote down that every morning he does some meditation, he does a workout. If he does a real hard workout, then he gets a massage. But he's doing something to help his mind. So he wants to think clearly. Especially being a leader now, like I was saying, and there's a lot of worry and negativity in the world. If you wake up every day and you start some active appreciation, I personally do it through prayer before I leave the bedroom. I stand by the bed and I pray. And when I'm praying, I'm really doing active appreciation. I'm thanking the Lord for everything in my life, my children, my wife, my animals, my place to live. I appreciate as much as I can, and that's part of my morning ritual. Well, you may not do it by prayer, but you just may make a conscious effort to be positive and be thankful for everything in your life. Now, that could be 5 minutes, but what that does, it sets up your success for the rest of the day. So during the rest of the morning, you're coming in, something you're very good.
I'm not sure. Vinny used to go there all the time.
Oh, there we go. So it's just setting you up for a positive attitude. So everything you're doing for the rest of the morning, you're coming in with a good outlook, a real positive outlook. You're optimistic. So next thing you may do in the morning is do some exercise, do some reading. Jason says he does meditation. I really like to, after I have a cup of coffee, do some reading. Reading is really important to me. It's fun for me. I'm learning something new. I try to read something positive. So again, I'm enhancing my outlook on life through my reading. One thing I like to do is devotionals. I like to do devotionals that have something to do with either service, devotionals with building relationships, something that also relates to business. Devotionals are easy. It's 15-minute read. You're learning something that's as purpose-based, something that has something to do with the moral compass, something that you can do either relationship-oriented or with your business. So out of the core four, we start with power. This is how we're improving our bodies, getting in better shape, maybe losing a little weight, staying healthy. Passion, make sure we have good relationships with everyone. When I was reading the book, it's really funny because this guy is just really, really hardcore and just in your face when he's in the book. In fact, half the book is capital letters. I feel like he's almost yelling at me at times. But he says a lot of people blame circumstances on things that happened in the past. Hey, I had this relationship with this guy, our business partners, who really screwed me over, this and that, and you're still living with that. You're still living with that negativity. Now, chances are the other person has forgot all about it, just went on in his life, but you're still carrying it. So it's really important that when you do this thing in relationships, that you're forgiving things in the past, you're forgetting things in the past, things that you have no control over. But if you're still dwelling on them, then it's going to have a negative impact on the life. So that relationship passion part of your day is really important. Again, the purpose, what's my purpose? How am I trying to learn more? How am I trying to grow my mind? Reading is really important. I was talking to Roland Osborne. I showed up at my house a few weeks ago, and he goes, hey, my goal this year is to read a book a day. I go, man, I could never do that. I mean, it's just too long. He goes, no, I get these audiobooks. I go, that's still a long time. He goes, no, I get an audiobook that just gives the outline of the book. So within 15 minutes, I get all the highlights of the book. I go, well, that's not really reading a book a day, but I do understand. He is trying to feed himself new information, so he's constantly growing and expanding his thinking. So getting something in mind, I think in the morning, again, with that, creating a positive attitude with attitude of gratitude, and then feeding some positive reading, it's really going to set you up for success for everything else. After the purpose comes production. What am I going to do today to increase my business or increase my income? Is it going to be when I get to the school, I'm going to be doing some marketing? Am I going to be working on training my team so I don't have to do everything myself? And other people are going to be active participants in my school. Everyone's got their position. Everyone's getting better and better at what they have to do. It could be sales. It could be relations. It could be training other people in the school. It could be talking to the parents. But what am I going to do to enhance my business? And what am I going to do to produce more income? If your school is stagnant, in other words, you have the same amount of students, same amount of income, it's not stagnant, it's really dying because you're either growing or you're dying. So what am I going to do to increase my income? Is it going to be having more events? It's going to be signing up more students. Is it going to be more mindful of getting renewals and upgrades done? So the really cool thing, again, about the Core 4 is not to be overwhelmed with your to-do list. Sure, you're going to do a couple of things with each one, but there's only 4 areas of interest that you really want to do on a daily basis. Again, one is the body. We want to stay healthy. I was reading a page today before I got onto this meeting. It's from Chuck Norris on what he thought about his 80th birthday. He was talking about all people that he knew that lived into their 80s, 90s, early hundreds, and what they did, and everything had to do with being in good shape. You hate to get old and have your body run down on you. You want to make sure you're in good shape to enjoy those years as you get older. I don't know how many martial artists I know with broken bodies that need knee replacements, hip replacements, so you want to take really, really good care of yourself. Again, relationships are everything. Relationships are personal relationships. They're working relationships. They're building relationships with your customers or your students. Something should be done every single day to enhance that. Again, your mind. Everything has to be a positive attitude. You're a leader. You can't be in a negative position. You can't be down in the dumps and expect your team to get out there and teach kick butt classes and be totally inspiring and totally motivating. So you have to lead the way. Constantly feed yourself new information and make sure you clear your head. I think it's one of the reasons why you see so many martial artists doing some type of meditation. I've never been one for just sitting and doing nothing, which is meditation, but I've been really active all my life through walking, through fishing and things like that. Just my time where all of a sudden I can just go, if I'm taking a half-hour walk, clear my thinking, kind of plan out my day. I think it's like a moving meditation. If I go over to the lake and I'm doing some fishing, same thing. I don't have to spend all day there. But a half hour in the morning is really, really nice, just appreciating nature. But it's really clearing your head and setting yourself up for a good day. So now when we get to the production part, our afternoon, when it's the fast and furious, people are coming in, people are signing up, students are taking classes, you're selling things and talking to parents about their concerns and trying to inspire more people to do martial arts. Your production part of the day goes through the roof. It gets much, much better, much, much easier. And you have the abilities and the mental clarity to inspire those other people. So again, that's part of our job right now. Too much negativity. Everyone's worried about the coronavirus. Everyone's worried about the stock market. It could all be true, but at the same time, we want to be positive examples for our students, our families, and our community. So your to-do list is pretty short, only 4 things. I know we have some guys on here, so I'm going to unmute. Anyone have any comments and things that they want to add to this leadership lesson? Johnny, you're a very positive guy. How do you stay positive?
Mute myself. I mean, I'm big into doing that. I think self-help is incredibly important. I listen to stuff every day. I think as a coach and a martial artist, I think we all need to work on our stuff. I think we all have our things. And I feel like in order for us to be successful, we need to get through those things. And I feel like that's something that a lot of martial artists, a lot of people who are, I guess, even as men, we don't talk about, and we have this other side. I feel like for me, I made leaps and bounds once I started dealing with my issues and my problems in my own life. And I feel like that's something that I relate into my classes, even with my adults. And I feel like for a lot of my parents and students, they find that very uplifting, that we're humans.
Mhm. How do you tell your staff to leave all the stuff that's bothering them by the door and go onto that floor, even though they have problems and stuff going on, and just being an inspiring instructor?
I try to give them something positive about them being there. And, my staff is, I got an emotional staff. I feel like we all have our things, but they're pretty good about, like, I was asking them, like, hey, what's going on? And they're pretty forward about it. So for the most part, if I feel like if we're planning our day out and they're not, lost and they're going to get sucked up by their own day, if you have a correct plan, I feel like for me in general, I've been planning everything and it's been a lot better.
When I used to train my staff, we used to find any negativity through the Monday meeting by asking them how the weekend was. When people talk about the weekend, if they had a positive weekend and they seem upbeat, it's usually pretty good. If they say, "Oh, my weekend, it was just terrible. This happened, that happened." Now they may carry stuff over. And then I go into a session where I just talk about it's not about you, it's all about them being the students. We all have issues, we all have challenges. But when we walk on the floor, it's showtime. Now it's all about our students. Not that we have to suppress everything, but we just have to remember our purpose. Our purpose is to inspire those people out there. So we've got to put everything personal on the back burner and take care of it later. So, in fact, we used to have like just a little huddle before the Fast and Furious time. It's okay, it's showtime. You never know. But once I said it's showtime, okay, it's all about the students. Yeah, I was thinking about you today because you're using your voices for your birthday parties, and I want to set something up maybe for next week because that was totally cool. I don't know if I could do it. I was actually trying today. I go, man, this would be an epic fail if I had to start doing that, but it was really.
Make your own voice.
Pardon?
We make our own voices.
Yeah.
I'm not the inventor of this. I watch PBS. Everyone has their own voice. Every puppet has their own voice.
Yeah.
Before I used noodles, I used a pad, and it was just a regular pork chop. And I was like, Mr. Pad! I thought it was great, and that's what I did, Copy the cartoons I did, I'll and things like that, It's a little scary. But, it's getting out of your shell. And for at least little kids, they watch PBS, right?
Yeah.
And you see the puppets, and the puppets teach them. So I'm like, maybe I could use the objects in class to teach them.
I thought your line was pretty good.
Yeah, different things. They find it hilarious when I hit my
something you're doing. Yes,
Mr. Silva, I didn't quite catch the name of that book you were saying where the guy was yelling at you in it. What is that?
How to Make Shit Happen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really funny when you look at it because the font's like an 18 font, and then he's got it's good. Rude language. So if you get through the rude language and his just being right in your face, it's good. You can learn a lot from it.
Cool.
I'm gonna look up the audio, but I'm a fan of audiobooks.
Yes. All right, guys, that was my message for today. I have an early appointment that I have to get to, but thanks for tuning in. And tomorrow will be William Pierce and myself. I'm sure he always has something good to share.
Question: would Dave stay on to tell me a little bit about what happened in the beginning, if you can?
I wasn't here either.
Okay. The good thing is I made a recording and I posted recording probably in about an hour.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you, sir. Thank you, guys. Have
Thank
a good
you.
one, guys.